This podcast is sponsored by ScienceBasedLearning.com. Discover your passion for languages with our innovative ebook, audiobook, and video system. Maximize retention using spaced repetition. Start your journey today.
How poetry enhances adult language learning and acquisition. Discover how poetry can improve your language learning by boosting memory, motivation, and cultural understanding for adult learners. The power of poetry in language teaching. When you think about learning a new language, what usually comes to mind? Grammar drills, vocabulary lists, and endless conjugations? While those remain important, there's an often overlooked tool that can make a huge difference in your language learning journey: poetry. Yes, poetry, those expressive, rhythmic, and sometimes mysterious arrangements of words, can be much more than art. They can be powerful language teachers, especially for adults embarking on the adventure of language acquisition. Why poetry works in language learning. Poetry uniquely combines melody, emotion, and language structure in a way that appeals to both the heart and the brain. Here's why it's an effective tool for language learners. Rhythm and sound patterns. Poetry's rhythm and rhyme help anchor unfamiliar sounds and structures in your memory. These patterns make it easier to remember words, phrases, and even grammatical forms without feeling like tedious memorization. Emotional connection. Poetry often conveys emotions and stories. When you feel connected to the content emotionally, your brain naturally retains the language better. This emotional engagement supports deeper learning. Cultural insight. Poems frequently reflect the history, values, and worldview of a culture. Learning through poetry exposes you to cultural nuances that standard textbooks may skip, enriching your understanding and appreciation of the language. Concise language. Poetry often uses compact, powerful phrases. This means you can learn a lot with just a few lines, which is encouraging when overwhelming vocabulary often causes language learners to stall. Poetry and the science of language learning. Modern research on language acquisition highlights the importance of engaging multiple parts of the brain for better retention. Listening to or reading poetry activates auditory, emotional, and visual processing. This multisensory engagement aligns perfectly with what the science behind language learning tells us. Diverse input and emotional motivation improve retention. Additionally, many language learners struggle with how to learn a language efficiently. Poetry introduces repetition in a natural, enjoyable way. When you repeat poetic lines or verses, you're reinforcing vocabulary and grammar effortlessly. This ties directly into principles like spaced repetition, which is proven to maximize long-term retention. Using poetry to improve adult language learning. Adults often face unique challenges when learning a language, such as less natural absorption compared to children and busy schedules. Poetry can help mitigate these challenges because short and manageable. Poems can be broken down into small digestible parts, perfect for limited study time. Enjoyable practice. The musical quality of poetry makes language practice feel more fun and less like work, increasing motivation to continue. Pronunciation practice. Reciting poems aloud is a great way to get comfortable with sounds and intonation in the target language. Memory trainer. Memorizing short poems aids memory skills that can apply to other language aspects. Simple ways to incorporate poetry into your language learning. If you're wondering how to add poetry into your routine, here are some practical tips. Start small. Pick short poems or even a few lines at a time to focus on. Listen and recite. Find recordings of poems by native speakers to hear authentic pronunciation and rhythm. Repeat aloud to practice speaking. Write your own. Try writing simple poems using new vocabulary or structures you've learned. This boosts creativity and reinforces language skills. Use bilingual versions. Reading poems side by side in your native language and the target language helps with comprehension and context. Join poetry groups or forums. Sharing and discussing poetry with others provides social interaction and deeper cultural insight. Combining poetry with science-based learning tools. To truly accelerate your language learning, coupling poetry practice with scientifically informed methods is the way to go. One excellent resource is ScienceBasedLearning.com. This platform offers a simple ebook, audiobook, and video language learning system combined with an online practice app that leverages the science behind spaced repetition to maximize your learning and retention. By integrating poetry exercises with proven strategies like spaced repetition, you can make your language study more effective and enjoyable. ScienceBasedLearning.com takes the guesswork out of language acquisition, providing structure alongside creative tools like poetry to support your journey. Final thoughts. Language learning isn't just about memorizing grammar or expanding vocabulary, it's about connecting with something bigger. Poetry offers a bridge to the soul of a language, enriching your experience with rhythm, culture, and emotion. As you work toward fluency, consider incorporating poetry into your routine. It's a creative, scientifically supported, and deeply human way to enhance adult language learning. Ready to elevate your language skills with a balanced, science-based approach that embraces the power of poetry? Check out ScienceBasedLearning.com to find a user-friendly system designed to boost your retention and make your path to fluency more enjoyable and efficient.